Welcome back, our dear viewers. As we have promised at the beginning of the show, that today we are going to talk about the important visit by the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to Egypt. Of course, he was received the first day of his visit by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. After that, they held bilateral talks. They signed many agreements. And of course, after that, they did visit yesterday Ismailia Governorate, and especially the Suez Canal new project and the tunnels there. And the Crown Prince and His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended performance at the Cairo Opera House. Many activities were taking place, of course, by the visiting Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia to Egypt, to shed more light about that important visit, which will end today. And of course, the Crown Prince will start, of course, a visit to Britain and the United States. We are joined here in the studio by our dear guest, Ambassador Dr. محمد الحسيني, Economic Committee Director of the UN Association. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Doctor. And the first of all, of course, the usual question, which is the importance and significance of this visit and its timing, especially that it's the first visit since the Crown Prince has assumed or given the title of being the heir to the throne in June 2017.
Yeah, correct. And as the importance of choosing Egypt as his first destination since he take the chair in Saudi Arabia, it's giving a message, because in the last couple of months there was some channels and some media ports was trying to inject let's say a plaque and a different kind of situation between Egypt and Saudi Arabia. As always, we have mentioned that we are under a war in the media, a war in the economy, a war in the political scenes, a war in combating terrorism. So to see President Fattah al-Sisi before a month ago, he was in Oman, and then he go forward to United Arab Emirates, meeting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed. And now Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Egypt. This is the message we're supposed to talk about before we talk about the importance of the visit, because this is a message. And even Prince Mohammed bin Salman last night in the opera and in the press conversation he had with the directors and the representative of the media channels and newspapers in Egypt, he addressed three important lines. The first line, he said that President Fattah al-Sisi re-inject in the Egyptian nerves the Pharaoh's blood, which is when you just look to the or even see the deep meaning of that he was saying that, to be frankly talking, and that's what he talked to the press. He said, before years ago, before I take even my position, I was looking to Egypt and even losing hope and praying to God that Egypt will return back as its position before. But what I was seeing in the last 10 years or 20 years ago, that Egypt its position is demolishing and becoming more smaller than it's supposed to be. And my prayers, it was for God that will be a new administration will take this nation to its position. And when I come to Egypt in that 2 days, as yesterday, and I see the mega projects which I have go with President Fattah al-Sisi in Ismailia, in the tunnels under the Suez Canal, seeing the new Suez Canal, seeing the presentation about the new administration city, seeing some information about our new gas plant in the Mediterranean Sea. And he said that, as what I see Egypt is uprising in the economical field and its position again. This is number one. And number two, he said, I'm addressing a message here from my second country and my second land, that no one can manipulate or even can interfere the strongest solid relation between Saudi Arabia and between Egypt. And some of the reporters asked him, we have heard a lot of news about there is a misunderstanding and arguments about some several points for the international political scene. And then he told him, even if King Salman and President Sisi try to hold this relationship, it will not be. Because this relationship between these two countries, it's for an ages ago. And
historical relationship.
Historical, and it's with the people themselves. This is number two. And number three, when you see that he is stating about his new project, and his new vision, because before you talk about the importance and the outcome of the visit, the normal questions we have, let's go in other line. See, go to Saudi Arabia, forget Egypt. What happened in Saudi Arabia in the since he became the crown prince over there, and he is now the second man in the kingdom, he changed the whole vision of Saudi Arabia. He changed the rules, and the first thing to him is he wanted Saudi Arabia not to be closed at how it was for the last ages, to be modernized, but in the economical scene, relying in the Islamic rules that we have it as an Islamic country, of course. So what he did is he changed the laws and regulation as what we did here in Egypt, because here in Egypt we make the investment law. He make something the same. But to readopt the free zones to Saudi Arabia and seeking new direct and indirect investment will come to him from the foreign investment. And the number two, when it's come to the political lines inside the kingdom, he rechanged the whole administration, injecting a new blood as well. And he make those who is now the ministers or the directors and the departments over there with a new vision, leading to his vision for 2030 Saudi Arabia. Looking to that spot in Saudi Arabia, that's not easy to do. That's hard. Why? Because the tradition there and the lifestyle there and the situation there is totally different from Egypt. So readopting that in a couple of months and find this corruption cases and facing a strong personalities over there, this is as how they animate him in the Western media, said the powerful young man in the Middle East.
Yes.
That changing Saudi Arabia to be a new era of an investment.
Yes.
Stating that he make and he announced in last October Neom city. This Neom city is the first city in the world that he is talking to the fourth generation, which they didn't come in 2025 and 2050, that the robots will be those who will manage the whole city. The city will be all green. The city will be with not the oil and gas energy, and there will be environment,
technology, and
everything is technologized. Everything is there like that.
It's going to be like a smart city.
It's a smart city, and that will approach for 3 million person, and it will be in a 25,000 kilometer, and the border to that city will be joined with Jordan and Egypt. Not, and here this is an important thing, not Jordan and Egypt is selling them lands to Saudi Arabia. No, they are sharing the project as an investment project to the three countries.
It's a huge investment project.
At the joint venture corporation as a countries, as a states. So, because that's important. Why? Because if you hear last night in the news to those, of course, to those who is look like the ghosts and in every action we do, they will come up paying checks to them, then they will talk against what's happening in the reality.
Yes, of course.
So what Egypt have stated, and here we are coming to the outcome of the visit. The first thing is Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he stated that as new city, there would be a corporation from Egypt in a 1,000 kilometer in the South Sinai. That will be Sharm el-Sheikh and some border to Sharm el-Sheikh. Then he said that there is, and they announced a memo of understandings about the corporation in the tourist industry, and developing this 1,000 kilometer to be along with the city. And here they signed an agreement with the Environmental Protection Department for how they will protect that city from any, let's say, any population or anything will become in the Red Sea. And this is important because that will be benefit for us in the first place.
Indeed.
And the second thing, that they announced that there is a 2,900 projects that will be cooperating under the Egyptian Saudi Council, which is announced the day before yesterday. And one of the message, which is not economical view here, and we must say about his visit to our first church and meeting the Pope, and the same to his visit to Al-Azhar and meeting Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayyib. Here that message is stating that, and he is promoting Saudi Arabia and promoting Islam, that Christians or Muslims is the same. And as how he talked to our Pope, he said that the Christians is most welcome in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
They are living with us in peace. We are not divided in any kind of treatment or any kind of operation with them. No, Saudi Arabia is a land to all the religions, and this is an important message that he gave it from Egypt. He didn't give it from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Why? Because here in Egypt there is no any difference between a Christian or a Muslim or even Jew, if there is. As what we say always, the religion is to God and the land is to everyone.
Of course, yes.
So that's what he gave as an important message. And then the third outcome of his visit, as what they talk about the international diplomat relation and the outcome of the war in Yemen. And he said that it will be finishing as soon as possible, because it's already coming in the stage of finishing 8 objects, even it's hard. And as how they support Egypt in fighting terrorism or combating terrorism in Sinai, Egypt supporting them in combating this Houthi terrorism in Yemen.
Yep.
So when you combine the two visions, you will find them as well as Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed in UAE in the same. Then number 4, when you look to to other agreement that they make, and he announced, of course, they have the visit to the opera house last night.
Yes.
And there was that theory. It was showing over there about what is the problems we face in our country, and how our president have and that move his emotions. And then he stated a message to the director of that area, and he told him that you guys was talking about all the problems and the hard time we are facing here
indeed.
in our country
By the youth.
by the youth.
Yes.
And that was okay, and we was thinking about this problem. But when you come to the national security view, all our feelings become to our country. The anger become to our country, because we must do that. And here, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, as how he was having the dialogue conversation with President al-Sisi, supporting him in the full war we have now in Sinai. It's a war that our army is doing
Indeed.
in a direct action to clear Sinai from the terrorism. This is not an easy thing we are doing. It's really complicated, and in the same time, it's a message to the whole world that we have the strongest army in the Middle East, and we are not just saying that as an expression in the news.
And sorry for interruption here, Ambassador Husseini, but we are doing a very tough combination here in Sinai. We are fighting, and at the same moment we are developing Sinai.
Yes.
So how do you read that?
I read that, of course, in the administration itself, heading by President Sisi. And that time, especially, that there is a message I wanted to say.
Please.
Before the elections now, to the presidential election we will have in the next 2 months, that this visit come here, that Saudi Arabia is supporting the administration and the stability in the country. Here in Sinai, when you look to Sinai, why there was this kind of tourism, and why those kind of people come to our land and start to have troops and do this action in and out the country. When you find that, because Sinai was undeveloped for the last 40 years ago, and if you want to really to combat tourism, it's not, yeah, the military action, it needs to show that your state have a powerful actions can do, and anyone can even try to interfere or even cross our borders. This is an important. But to close that, you need to develop it so you will not leave the youth and the young men without jobs.
Yep.
Because when you develop Sinai, it's have a lot of natural resources. We as an economist, when we look to it, Sinai can uprise Egypt with the natural resources in the gold,
Yep.
in a lot of the chemical and the steel material and raw materials and a lot of things over there that can be using in the petrochemicals and the sands,
Yes.
and a lot of industries can be using through the natural resources in Sinai. When you are developing Sinai, you are doing the A, or the first point of development, which is the infrastructure. You are connecting this precious piece of land to Egypt itself. How? By making the tunnels, which President Sisi and Prince Mohammed bin
did
Salman
visit yesterday.
and they even General Mohammed have announced that these tunnels, which is 3,000 kilometers, something like that, that will connect Sinai with Egypt in 20 minutes, that you don't need to wait in the boat for 5 days going there. Meaning now Egypt is connecting by a strong bond connection in the infrastructure with Sinai.
Yes.
So this is the development, announcing that the administration have announced in the next 6 months or the next year that there is 17 projects will be done in Sinai, and they announced the development of Sinai Authority with a 200 start of £2 billion that to develop a lot of projects in Sinai, in the agriculture, building factories over there, developing the tourist spots along with the Red Sea. Doing that, you are now cooperating with whom? With Sinai people, it's themselves, putting them in the development, so they will not leave a piece of land to anyone to come and do what they will do.
Yes, indeed.
And in the same time, as a message you did by your military, that we are in our land, okay, whatever Camp David agreement we have did, this is respected as an agreement between two states. But in the main thing, that's our land. Put the papers in your desk and let us protect our people. And that's what our military is doing now. So going in the two lines in the same times, it's not an easy thing to do as an administration. And in the same time, your administration is doing other development in the whole country. So when I look to all of that, no, that's a huge achievement, need to be appreciated. I need the Egyptian people themselves to appreciate the administration about that.
As part of the tour in Ismailia, the president and the crown prince, they visited Elhouseni resort. And actually this is, it contains a variety of things, the marina, shopping, and it's a mega touristic resorts which they inaugurated. How do you see that, and putting Ismailia on the touristic map, because usually we go to Hurghada, they go to Sharm el-Sheikh, but Ismailia
is the first time.
It's rare that we find resorts or tours within the city itself. So how do you see that?
I see that as Ismailia and Suez and Port Said, these three states in Egypt, is in the other side of Neom. And this is important, because Neom here and they are here. And when Prince Mohammed bin Salman go there, he say something. He say, I didn't expect that I will find this kind of tourist industry that can be done in Egypt. Why he said that? Because in the last 30 or 40, 50 years, that the development to us, it was little bit late. But now, as this is for sale, it's not just look like it's the only project we have. It's look like a business card to the tourist, the new tourist industry in Egypt, as a French design that we make it, and we combined in that resort what is the same resorts images in Dubai, in Kuwait, in the Gulf region to them. When you do something like that in Ismailia itself, this is a new movement from Egypt. And the second thing is, as a tourist spot here, because to them they will look to you. I'm talking here as an investment overview. They will look to you if they will partner you and cooperate with you in this 1,000 kilometer. What you can give to them. Yeah, you will go in that project by the land as a landowner, and they will come with you as a developer. But they announced that they will go in the tourist industry with this kind of number of projects. If they didn't find the ability in your country to do a projects like that, or to struct and can do a new projects look like the new major, the new international standards of the tourist industry, they will not come to you. They will go in any other country. And I just wanted to say something here.
Yeah.
No one is leaving you to develop and to apprise. Look to Erdogan in Turkey, he already in Algeria, right? Why? President Sisi is making all of them now, is getting out of the nerves and seeing the two powerful and biggest countries in the Middle East and in the Arab nations talking in Egypt, and the Arab national security itself. It's a giving message to everyone that we are controlling the Middle East with our brothers, and no one will gonna to enter, and Iran is the silent tiger in the papers, as what he announced.
Indeed, Ambassador Dr. Mohammed Elhouseni, Economic Committee Director of the UN Association. Always a pleasure, of course, to have you with us, sir. Thank you very much, and have a lovely morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. And now we'll be looking into a song by Ali Al-Haggar. It's a patriotic song. The song itself is produced by the